One of the most exciting developments as far as building a better world. I've mentioned on this playlist multiple times, and on this channel especially multiple times, water is going to be one of our biggest problems. To put this in perspective, this was in the LA Times today. California has 1 year left of water. Will you ration now? And this is California. They are an unevolved state. They are the dumbest people on the planet. I'm getting tired of them moving to Texas anyway and messing up our state. But the fact is, this is how they think. Will you ration? They can't solve any problem. Why they're a part of the United States, I'll never understand. But anyway, it's typical California. It's worthless. You're not going to get a single thing from California, other than their farmers. Their farmers are hardworking, but the rest of their state's full of idiots. Anyway, meanwhile, in Texas, one of the reasons why international trade is so awesome, the company STW Resources and Salttech, which is a Dutch company, the Netherlands, have been working together, and they have had some success with a type of technology, and I'm not even going to try to say it because I would butcher it, but it is technology that, as we'll see in a second, is incredibly cost effective. That being said, we need to read this because I am invested in the Texas company in this. I could not find where the Netherlands company was, so I'm going to pause here for a moment and let you read this, and I'm going to read the very bottom, which states, at the current time of this video, March 13th, 2015, I own shares of STW Resources. Note that the purchase of this company is excessive risk, and from my own perspective, desperate water need in Texas, a worthy risk. That being stated, do not buy shares of the company unless you've performed your own due diligence. Buying shares of the mentioned company may result in significant financial loss. And remember, of course, that discussion of any CUSIP or security is only for discussion purposes only. In this case, I have invested in it. But do not buy any security mentioned in this playlist unless you perform your due diligence. I purchased shares of Lehman Brothers 3 days before it collapsed. If you're following me into a trade, you're taking excessive risk and you may lose significant financial value. In this case, I do own shares at the time of this video, and I intend to keep those shares going forward because, again, in my opinion, this is a risk that is definitely worth taking. So, what does it do? Why do I think this is? This is my opinion. What I'm talking about is to myself and myself only. Okay. Texas is facing a major drought. Okay, we've been in a drought for 5 years. We understand the importance of water. It's affecting our cattle farmers. Texas, really, if we could solve our drought, if we could have an abundance of water, there really is nothing that, with the Texas mentality of always doing hard things and overcoming adversity, really is nothing that stands in the way. Water is kind of our bottleneck right now. And the problem is desalination costs a lot of money in terms of energy and other resources, and usually generates, and I'm not kidding about this, 35% clean water. Okay? With this technology, we get 97% clean water. Okay? The cost estimate of the technology is about 75% cheaper. It's at about 60 to 75%. I crunched some numbers. It's in this range. This article right here, I'll link it in the description if I remember. You'll see technology that can recover up to 97% clean water. This is the actual technology versus, you can see, most ocean water desalination systems produce 35% fresh water and 65% waste stream of highly concentrated brine liquid. And then the other thing as well, which is really cool about this, where is that? The remaining 3% is discharged in the form of solid salts and minerals. Okay, well, you got more resources there as well. Okay, so could the cost be optimized and could it get even lower? Yes, and with other technologies such as 3D printing, etc., we might be able to lower the cost further. But for now, this is a step in the right direction. For a small population Texas town of just 19, they are using it to provide them with more than plenty of water. Hold on one second. Excuse me. Power on solar energy. Okay. So the solar energy powers it. And I'm assuming this is just the city, not the area. So 19 people are getting water from this plant, and it's providing them with more than enough water. Well, why is that a big deal? Well, now it's just a focus on scaling, right? So we need to scale this for, let's say we want to provide enough water for 100,000 cows, right? And so on and so forth. Like cattle farmers, again, in Texas have been really hammered. So this is huge. This is really huge. This is huge technology. This is an example of lowering, notice how this is lowering the cost of living, we reduced the cost 60 to 75%, but it's increasing the standard of living, right? We're getting water that we wouldn't have had access to now. Huge win. And Texas is rising to the challenge. The other cool thing about this, so STW Resources is in Texas. It's in Midland, I believe. I think so. Yeah, I think it's in Midland. I could be wrong, but it is in Texas. What's cool is a Dutch company, of course, they're in the Netherlands, Salttech. They actually have an office here in Texas, in McKinney, Texas. So I thought that was really cool too as well, because we're a pretty business-friendly state here in Texas, and that's awesome that we're very receptive. I still think Texas needs to, and this is a reason why I say this, needs to work with other countries, right? Because this is an example where Texas rose to a challenge by looking around, saying, hey, look, the Dutch have a really great solution. Let's work with them. And then you'll notice they open an office here in Texas, and hopefully, you know, there'll be a lot of businesses now in Texas that will work with them. That'll help make them money as well. So it creates a win for Texas. It creates a win for the Salttech company. That's a big win overall. So this is a really awesome advancement. This is probably one of the biggest ones as far as building a better world. Definitely desalination water. That's going to be big in the future.